What does it look like to be trained, taught, and justified by grace? How can we know that the grace of God which brings salvation has appeared to us?
How can you know? How can we know? The answer is found in verse 12 of the text. That's where the answer is, where Paul explains that the same grace of God that accomplishes our salvation is now training us to renounce ungodliness and worldly passions and to live self-controlled, upright, and godly lives in the present age. Is that happening to you? Is it happening to me? If it is, then the grace of God that brings salvation has appeared to us. If not, we have some serious questions to ask. And of course, brothers and sisters, you would know from our teaching and preaching that we are not speaking about absolutes in any way. But there must be at least a glimpse. Do we have evidence of the Spirit of God working in any way at all in our lives? In verse 11, grace was the Savior that brought salvation to all kinds of people. Grace rescued those who believed in Jesus Christ for their salvation from sin and death, and justified them. But now in verse 12, grace, the same grace, is the trainer, the teacher, the instructor that is sanctifying those whom it saves. The same grace that justifies us, sanctifies us. That same grace that saves us now supplies both the desire and the energy to live victoriously. The saving grace of verse 11 becomes the teaching grace of verse 12.
Do we have any evidence of the Spirit of God working in our lives? As you think on that question, think about your attitude towards the things you ought to deny and the spiritual fruit you bear. Consider how the grace of God appears to you. And tune in tomorrow as we continue this lesson.